Jody?
No,
Yep.
he'll be late. He's like
Finance Committee meeting for August 18th, 2025. Counselor Smith,
Here.
Gwaltney,
here.
Alamon,
Here.
Brant's out, and Mr. Harden's out. So you got three.
Yeah, John should be here at some point, and Jody too, hopefully. I think our first order of business is to get a motion to dispense with the reading and approve the meeting minutes from our meeting of August the 4th.
So moved. Second.
All right, motion for Mr. Gwaltney, second for Mr. Allen. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
3-0, those are approved. I am going to take an item out of order because we have some folks here who are going to be presenting to us. So I am going to take 150825, request for consideration of a tax incentive agreement with Piggly Wiggly Construction Project with Murray Legg, coming to us from Murray Legg, Andy Versiglio, and our mayor. Mr. Wyatt, you want to start us off? And there's John.
Sure, I'll be happy to. So everyone's familiar with various versions of this we've been through. The latest and last version is what you're going to hear about tonight. Rather than building the new building on the back, I'm going to let you do it in a second. I'm going to let you do it with the pictures. I'm just going to describe it. Rather than doing the building that you've all seen in the back, they are going to build a new building where the current building is, which does mean that the pig will have to shut down for a little while. But I feel confident that the community will come back and to it quickly. I really think that we have gotten to a version of it that is the best possible version of it. I really like it personally better than what we've seen before, and not just aesthetically, but also for some reasons for the city that have to do with just that corner and making that corner a very visible and aesthetically pleasing spot right there at an important intersection in the city. But most notably, there's also, as you'll see, they created a green space between the building and our tunnel and the new entrance that we will have to the tunnel. This is going to allow for a safer passage for kids getting to and out of school, which I think is an enormous deal. Also, because it's here, all of the concerns about the loading dock and Courtney and all of that stuff have been resolved. Those don't exist. The loading dock will be generally in the location where it is now. I'm going to let them actually give you the presentation about the construction and all of that stuff. What we're here about tonight is because the incentive agreement is attached to the plan. The old plan is no longer exists, so this is the new plan. So the incentive agreement is coming back before us. The incentive agreement is really the exact same as it was, with one notable difference. Because this store is going to be less expensive to construct and is going to be at least slightly smaller in terms of retail space, the ask has gone down. So instead of the $3.5 million that it was before, now it is $3 million. So I would tell you we're getting, in my opinion, a much better pig that we all want, and we're getting it with incentives that are less. We're getting a better traffic flow than we have now, or that it was going to exist with the new one. We've got more green space than we had before. We're going to have better pedestrian access, in particular for the children. And so I think this is well worth the incentives that that I've discussed with them. But I want them to go through the project and let everyone see the details of the project. So I'll hand it over to you guys. Let y'all do it.
Yes, I'll pass them around. Thank you, that'd be so kind. Yeah, I appreciate it.
And then Brian's got everything loaded for
Okay,
the
thank you so very much. Thank you very much. I'm Murray Legg, and I really appreciate hanging in there with us. I know because this has been a long process, and we started from scratch trying to do the new building. And I just appreciate your patience, and hopefully we've listened to everybody's concerns. We listened to the residents, and after talking with Andy and Mr. Terry, we feel like we've come up with a plan. Hopefully that will satisfy your wants and needs, and also the city's. Alex pointed out that this area right here was like a green space. We felt like that was very important because right now the children come up out of the tunnel and there's really no place for them to go, and the parents park all right in there trying to wait on them. And so what we've done is we brought the building up, so there's no, you know, so the parking out front is gonna go away. And so the entrance is gonna be on the side. If we could change, well, let's get, yeah, go back to that one right here. Yeah, as you can see, I don't have a pointer, but there's the entrance. And so, you know, the addition comes out front and then also on the side up at Oxmoor Road. Okay, and then there's the green space. That whole area right there is gonna be green space. And so that'd be a great place for the children to come up out of the tunnel, wait for their parents. And so what we've done is where we were gonna put the store originally, we've turned that into parking. And so that should be, you know, hopefully a good thing with the neighbors over there on Firefighter and you know, and also their apartments. So, you know, I just wish we'd have done this to start with. And we had to go through all the gyrations.
It's beautiful.
But
It is
I want to thank you for your patience, I really do. But Mr. Terry has been great through this, and of course Andy and his sons are here, and so, you know, they've been great to work with. And our architect is Robert Thompson, he's right up here. Robert, why don't you come up for a second? And he is part of this team. And then Mike Hopper is handling the construction engineering, and Mike is part of the team as well. Mike has built an awful lot of, you know, retail space. But I'm just here to ask y'all if you have any questions. We realize that the $3.5 million was for the new store, as the mayor said. This store is gonna look brand new. I mean, the outside's gonna look brand new, as you can see on the book that's I passed out, and also the inside. Thank you for the but these are pictures of the Crestline store, but this is what this store is gonna look like on the inside. So I just wanted y'all to get a feel for what the store is gonna look like. It's gonna look and feel just like a brand new store. And so, this is a shot right here. This is a shot if you were over at Chase Cahaba looking across 31. This is what it looks like from the front, right here. And then let's go to the next slide if we could. And then of course this is taken like from the gas station looking across the intersection, but that's, of course, that's the green space again. And the entrance would be right over here on the side by the CVS. Okay. And so we felt like, even though this is a new store, we're a few thousand square feet short of what the new store was gonna be, but not much. So we felt like it was only right to bring down our ask from $3.5 million down to $3 million. And we've worked with Alex, and we have something that he sent us to review, and Mr. Terry is here, and I think we've all come to agreement on what needs to be said in that agreement. And so I don't know if y'all have seen that or not, but I think you have. But we're here just to ask that you bless the, you know, $3 million that we're asking for.
And is the store, because to me, it looks bigger than the Cahaba Heights, the Crestline store, just because, it looks so stately from the front, from the street view. Is it about the same size
Andy, you wanna
as
address
the
that?
Crestline store?
Was she compared to Crestline?
Yes.
Is
compared
it
to
similar in
Crestline.
size to the
The
Crestline
size.
It's a
store?
little bigger, actually.
Oh, it is, it looks a little bit.
And we were able to utilize the basement. We have a basement there.
Oh, wow.
So we're able to utilize this for storage more, so it gave us more on the main level for retail.
Yeah.
So we're-
And I don't know if y'all know this, but there is a basement here.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Oh my
That's-
gosh, it's a
didn't know
great
that.
bomb shelter.
I'm sure you didn't know it.
It's a really nice basement, and that's
Yeah.
what they do, utilize storage,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
have a lift that brings a lot of, the stuff up.
Up to the main
Yeah,
level,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Awesome.
Absolutely.
I have a quick question. In terms of parking spaces, what's the level of what's available today, what's gonna be available after the redesign?
Yes, great question. I didn't count how many spaces there are today, but we are losing, between the front and then the Oxmoor roadside, we're losing 26 parking spaces there, but we're putting back much more than 26. We're putting back probably
Yeah.
in the neighborhood of maybe 50 spaces.
Over here.
And on the gravel lot that the new store was gonna go on.
Yes,
Correct.
yes.
That is correct.
And so this is what it looks like, looking at towards the intersection of Oxmoor and 31 right here.
I did a parking count analysis, and I didn't bring the exact numbers with me, so forgive me for that. But for the whole development, which includes the Piggly Wiggly, CVS, and then that Cameron Corners, because that's all been put together as one piece of property, I believe the required number of parking spaces was about 131. We have on this site drawn somewhere around 156, 157. Piggly Wiggly themselves felt like they needed, because this store was gonna have bigger retail, they may have more traffic or will have more traffic in here. So
That's
they
the
wanted
plan,
more,
that's great.
they wanted more than the minimum number of spaces, which I totally agree with. So we have about 156, 157.
Now, will Scott Street, isn't that Scott Street? I'm right, right?
Drake?
Drake Street,
Drake.
sorry. Will that remain open as an actual, will it be a street? Do we need to?
No.
No, okay, it'll just be for the loading.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, with the first plan.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that
So
changed
it'll
with the new
still be
plan.
there.
Yeah,
They
yes.
will maintain it and all of that.
Right, right.
Absolutely.
I just wonder, I mean,
Yeah,
do we
which
worry
is
that cars
basically
might
right-
use it
right
anyway?
here.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah, I mean, it'll still be, you can still get through there.
Right. I just wondered if at some point, do we need to think about like little crosswalks or something from the back parking lot over to the main parking lot, just in case cars decided to
Right. Well,
use that.
That wouldn't be a part of it.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
right.
Okay,
Right now, we've retained Shoal Engineering to do the site development plan, and they are just underway on that, and we'll have something probably in about a week, if I'm not mistaken, to be able to present in a lot more detail.
Yeah.
So this is just the kind of the concept, and they're taking this concept and running with it, so they'll have, I'm sure, some improvements over what I drew with it.
well, it does look lovely. It's really, I think this is, like you said, it's the best of both, I mean, really, what we all need and want. I think it turned out very, very well.
Again, thank you for your patience for being with
Actually,
us.
it was worth it.
It was worth it.
It was worth the wait.
Hopefully
Thank you,
we'll-
architect.
Yes, yeah.
Mr. Turner,
What a beautiful piece of property you've created. I
Oh,
mean,
He did a
thank you.
great job.
It's such a fantastic piece of property, I just didn't want to mess it up. Because it really is an
When they're gonna
iconic
watch.
store on a really prominent piece of property, so it deserves this. And doesn't deserve anything less than this, really.
I'd make a motion for approval.
All right, motion from.
Is it public hearing?
pending
It
the
is a
public hearing?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Without
just- oh,
recommendation,
yeah.
pending the public hearing.
And, Mike, when can we set that public hearing?
We said it.
Oh, we already said it last week, that's right, I forgot we said it last
Was
week.
it for, oh, it's
And
for this week?
It's on the 25th? Yeah.
Second.
Okay, so we have the public hearing, so we are moving this out without recommendation pending the public hearing on Monday night. That motion coming from Mr. Gwaltney and seconded by Mr. Alamon. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that is confirmed and approved, so we'll send out without recommendation. So we'll see y'all next Monday night in council chambers at 6 o'clock.
Before we move on, I just.
Yes.
I think it's important to say this. Charles Terry and Andy Versiglio have worked really hard to do this with the assistance of everyone that we introduced, and it's really been a great team, but I just want to thank the two of you in particular for staying with this and working on it and getting to something that like I said before, I really think this is the best version that we've seen and the best version that I could possibly think of. And it wasn't easy, so I appreciate your diligence
Absolutely.
and you working towards it, because this is an important thing for Homewood. So thank y'all both very much.
Yes.
From
Thank
our
you.
standpoint, we appreciate y'all, because y'all have really been patient through this as well.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, you're right, this is much better.
Yeah.
You know, we just didn't see it maybe before,
Sure.
but,
It's
we do
worth
now.
it. It's worth
Yeah.
it. We got here. We
Yeah,
got here. It's worth
absolutely.
it.
Well,
Thank y'all.
thank you, everyone.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Just don't close for the ball.
All right.
I mean,
We
that
will
is-
jump.
We
I'll let everybody get out of here.
It's nice when you get a great project.
I know, yeah.
and I don't-
All right, we're gonna go back up to, the top of the agenda, to our old business. And our first item is a bid date that is set for tomorrow, 03/07/25, which is, the bid date for our, Green Springs Phase 2, coming to us from, Mr. Smith. That is tomorrow, so hopefully we'll get some good numbers and be able to, what time is that? I can't remember.
3:01.
That's very specific, okay. So bids due at 3, opening them at 3:01, okay. All right, and then, we have 180725 and 010825, which are both regarding, the diverging divergent diamond, intersection, at Lakeshore. Do we wanna talk about these together, the lighting and the, okay, good. Okay, so, Mr. Smith, why don't you come up and
Yeah,
give us
so if you'll remember, in May of 2025, we did an amendment to the agreement that we had with AlDOT. And the agreement included these numbers. So Surface Transportation Program is STP, BH is Birmingham. So that's the NPO funding that they committed in the agreement. And then AlDOT has federal money they've committed, and then Homewood was committed to 4.6 million for a total of that. That we didn't know at the time what it was going to be. We were just hoping it was going to be around that amount.
Yeah.
Then on July 25th, it bid for 29 million point two. No, I'm sorry, it bid for 23 million. And then when you add on top of that, construction, engineering, and inspection, 15%, and then indirect cost, which is attached to the AlDOT funds, we landed on these amounts to get to the 29 million. That's the total cost of the project. And then Homewood's portion would be 5.8. And then the MPO agreed to provide up to 9 million, or up to 8.988 million, and they were originally at 4 million.
Yeah, so that's, but, I mean, just so everybody hears that, our number went up about 1.2 million from what we anticipated to what the
Actually, it's
actuality
gone up
is.
3 million from what we first.
Well,
agreed.
I mean, we can't go back to the number from way back, because that number's long since gone.
I understand, but
Yeah.
AlDOT is, we can't trust them. I can't trust AlDOT. I'm not sure AlDOT will get this done. Have we gone further down the road
Bless you.
with them based on where we are? I mean, do you think now that they've at least bid it, that we're a step towards it?
So they've approved the bids. At this point, they're waiting on a check from Homewood for that amount, and then at that point, they'll release the contract. They'll execute the
So that's a yes.
They were asking, I believe, for a check today.
We're holding them off of it.
Yeah.
Can I
for this
ask
bid.
you to give us a update? I know you have regular conversations with Walmart. Can you touch on what Walmart means to the city, what this means to Walmart and to Sam's?
Yeah, so let me start by saying I sympathize with Mr. Harden, obviously. Everyone knows my feelings about this project and when it should have gotten done and what AlDOT was done to not get it done. And so I appreciate that question and the concerns. We are at a point where either we pay this money or the project's gone, right? For this is it. We either pay this or it's gone. And some might argue that AlDOT would love for it to be gone and be us the ones pulling the plug on it. I think that Cale has done an excellent job in terms of getting it to a point where it is doable for the city by bringing in additional NPO funds and things like that. So I think that we are at a point, John, where I think we are calling AlDOT's bluff a little bit. And so if we approve this and that they have to do it. Now, I can't ever tell you that they can't squirm out of it, because maybe they will, but this is as good as we're ever gonna get at forcing them into the project and actually getting the project done. So that's why this is an opportunity for the city. With regard to Ms. Anderson's question about Walmart, Walmart asked about this. They've known about it for years, just like the rest of us, and they asked about it. And so it's an important project, not just for Walmart, but that is one of the important aspects of it, because Walmart is obviously very important to the city of Homewood and the revenue of the city of Homewood. And so I think that having this in place once the project's done, really is an important thing for Homewood, not just because that intersection already gets a lot of traffic going through it, and quite frankly, more traffic than many other diverging diamonds in the state that the state decided to build first for whatever reasons. But because that intersection is important to us commercially, and not just with Walmart, but with all of Wildwood. And so I think having this in place is an important project. I think the traffic over there is only going to get worse. If you drive down Lakeshore, Towards Bessemer, there's development going on all the way down. If and when Lakeshore is actually connected to 459 down there, it's going to be even more. There's a lot going in, and that is going to increase traffic trying to get to 65 at that intersection and coming off of 65 at that intersection. So I think it is important. I think that getting it done is important, and again, because Kale has done a good job of getting it to a number that we may not like, and we may have wanted something less, and we may have worked really hard to get something less. We also could be dealing with something that is a whole lot more, and this is something that I think we probably can stomach. We've got the money to do it. So, and this is a good investment into the city's infrastructure that I think will pay dividends on the back end with the commercial and retail that is along Lakeshore, not the least of which is Walmart and Sam's.
Go ahead.
I was gonna follow up on that, because of the things that he mentioned happening on Lakeshore towards Bessemer. The county has said that they will contribute $1 million to this one.
I have a quick question, I think it's pertinent. They asked for a check today, right? So what happens to Harding's point, Councilor Harding's point, if we write a check for this amount, whatever amount?
Sure.
And then for whatever reason, the project falls through, what happens to that money?
You get it back. Yeah, you get it back if they.
So I'm just
yeah.
curious, so we're protected in that way?
Correct.
That's why I just want us to be aware of.
If for some unexpected reason they didn't release the contractor, then yeah, the money will come back to us.
That's what I wanted to know, thank you.
So where it is now is that on September 17th, it's gonna start with the MPO committees. It's gonna go to the MPO advisory, and then citizens, and then policy committee, and the week of the 17th. And at that point, AlDOT will have had our check, and then they'll be 100% comfortable that the MPO has agreed to fund the project, and then they'll go. They've asked the contractor for a 30-day extension, and so they'll start in October 1.
And what's the duration? Did they forecast 2 years?
Probably that. I don't remember what the document said.
And I will say, for those of y'all who were not around in the term prior to 2016, we literally had the first charrette for this at the Second Presbyterian Church, which is now the Grace Church, which is the property that we talked about on Columbiana, in early 2015? Was it
15 or 16?
I think it was 15.
15, it was
I think
15, yeah.
Because it was one of the first things I did.
Yeah, it was one of the first
So it
things you
was
did.
At least 15.
It was
if not
2015,
over.
yeah. So this has
A
been,
decade.
And by the
Talking
way,
about this for
that
a
wasn't
day.
the first thing. That was just the first
Th-
charrette.
that was the first charrette,
There was a
right.
design at that point.
Right,
So
right.
it had already been in the works for a
before
while
that.
before that.
Yeah, right. That was just the first public charrette where they invited people to come
Correct.
and look and see. So we've been talking about this for a decade, and it's one of those projects that is just really vital to a lot of really important things. So, is it a number that we're all jumping up and down about? No, of course not. But
We
it's
could do it on our own.
No, and it's a reasonable number, and Cale has worked very hard to put together a plan that makes it less hard to swallow.
And again, if you look at the number and look at what the return on that number is,
Yeah.
there are very few projects that have even been thought of in Homewood that could have that kind of return on investment that this can.
Yeah.
I mean, there just aren't. There are plenty of projects that may be great community builders and whatever, but if you're talking about economically, in terms of what makes a difference to the city, the return on investment on this is probably larger than anything that any of us have done with the city.
Yeah.
Traffic wise is totally separate, but.
Yeah, I know, which
just
is
as important.
which is another important consideration.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion. I wanted to thank Kale too for getting
Okay.
a bump from MPO.
I have, well, and so let me say this.
Where's the money?
Do we need to execute the AlDOT traffic lighting also?
Well, that's kind of a second part, that, if I understand correctly, there's two lighting projects. The one that we were trying to work with.
Right, but this
Alabama
one,
Power.
the one that's on our agenda now is
Yeah.
specifically for the maintenance agreements in relationship to the DDI
To the
project.
DEI, right. This
Yeah.
doesn't have anything to do with Alabama Power.
Yeah.
Right. This isn't this is not the interstate lighting. This is
That's what I'm trying to
specifically
make
lighting
sure
for the.
it's clear.
Yes,
So-
we're right. This
so
is.
he's got this one too. but-
Right. So, the first item is the 180725, which is a request for permission, for the city manager to execute an AlDOT traffic signal lighting maintenance agreement for the DDI project. So that's the first item.
That's what I'm moving.
Okay, that's,
No, that's
oh,
backwards.
I'm sorry,
Oh, wait, oh,
Mike,
one.
yeah.
The first thing you need to do is authorize the mayor to sign this concurrence.
Okay, so we need to do the DDI first and then the lighting agreement?
Unless you do that, the other.
The other thing doesn't matter, okay. All right, so 010825, request to consider funding for the Lakeshore and I-65 diverging diamond project from Mr. Smith. And John did ask where the money is coming from.
You explained it to me, that's gonna be tougher for me.
Yeah, according to our finance department, the funding source is debt reserve, that's allowed for, general municipal purposes.
Okay, all right.
Bottom line is we have a capital fund project that I'm gonna brief program.
right.
That we're consolidating the money to, and we have the funds to do this.
Yes, right, okay. All right, so the first item, 010825, request to consider funding for the Lakeshore and I-65 diverging diamond project coming to us from Mr. Smith. Motion. Motion for Mr. Allemond, second for Mr. Gwaltney. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And that is now Jody, so we've got
I'll send you
five.
the
All right,
resolution that the mayor's authorized to sign.
Okay.
Letter And the funding budget transfer was also included.
okay, all right, all of that was wrapped up in that motion, so that is 5-0 to approve, having the mayor sign that agreement and, provide that funding as described by Mr. Smith. And then the second item subsequent to that is 180725, request permission for the city manager to execute the AlDOT traffic signal and lighting maintenance agreement with, for the DDI project.
So moved.
Motion for Mr. Allemond, second for Mr. Harden. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
That-
There's actually 3 resolutions that AlDOT requires
Okay.
for this approval, so you'll see 3 resolutions that I'll send you.
Okay, all right, so those will be for the Monday, yeah, okay. All right, so 180725 was approved 5-0 as well.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so, oh, and I don't think I said carry over 30725 for the bid date, but that was, yeah, you did, I figured you did that. Okay, 020825, request for the consideration of a 25-26 budget brief coming to us from our city manager, Mr. Adams.
Next slide. So, believe it or not,
And I think everybody should have this.
I brought the laser for you. You can see it works here, but it disappears on the screen. So, that works very well. So the first thing that I want to bring up is, as of the 14th of August, we had $91 million in all of our accounts combined. We are moving to Synovus. Bryant Bank should be moving total $21 million from Friday through tomorrow to Synovus. But we are doing really good. If you look at $91 million in our account, you'll start to see on the next slide how the way forward is going to work. Our current CPI is 3.5%. That's based off of the federal government saying the CPI. So we are including that as the budget COLA for personnel pay to keep us at parity. The Jefferson County Personnel Board has an annual merit increase of 5%, and that is programmed into this budget as well. You're going to see a lot of things when we start working through the budget. We're moving the utility, fuels, maintenance, IT to single points in the budget, so you know exactly what it costs for all of those. There are eaches. There are specific things that are not able to move this year, and we're going to look at them next year and see how well we can manage moving them. But right now, it's really tough for me to sit there and go, our electricity is abnormally high because it's split across everywhere under the sun. We need to be able to have it at one location and start working those things.
Right, so just for those of y'all, I know y'all know this, but in past years, every single department had all of those things listed separately in their departmental budget. So this time, instead of Berkeley saying, here's my utility request, and every other department saying that, it's all gonna fall under one department so that it's a little more like, yeah, consolidated, it makes more sense.
It makes it easier for anybody to sit there and look at and go, this is how much it costs to run the city.
Yeah.
You know, we're finding, just like you saw us discuss IT and the different areas, and we lose track of where things are. We're going to find those things that aren't being used and eliminate them so they don't cost the city money. And so that's what we're trying to do there. Our total budget, and don't freak out on this, is $127,485,000. So when you start talking that, you go, ooh, wow, that's a lot. That's more than what we normally do. But that is including capital projects, and I'm gonna talk to those capital projects in a little bit. We have an operating budget. This is what you guys are used to looking at and discussing. That's $74,875,000. That is about $4 million more than what you're used to seeing. And some of that is that 2.5, some of that is additional personnel that we're going to request. We haven't, there's a 2% revenue increase that we budgeted in this. I had tried to make sure that we stayed at as neutral as we could. If we have a CPI of 3.5 and I'm only bringing it up 2, that's pretty conservative. So I'm not trying to go up in our budget extensively. But I still will need $2.6 million from our general fund carryover, and I'm going to be confusing you guys as I transition from last year's budget to this year. I'm trying to create a known and understood location where the money is all going to pool into so that we have that money in a capital projects program that we could do life cycle replacement on. We have capital expenditures, which is a total of $21 million on the books. That's going to be easily explained once we start going through the process of the budget hearings, but here's some examples. We have a fire truck that we ordered 2 years ago that we have to pay this year, and we have to put on the budget $2.8 million for a fire truck that we're not going to get until 2029. So there's a lot of things that are flowing in and out of the capital expenditures that have to be programmed and managed going forward so we know that they're there. So it's a commitment of those funds. The other thing that is kind of a contentious is the last bullet there. We don't have the absolute authority to go to them and say, you briefed us on the changing of the routes to a less large route that only costs us $215K, and with the same increase that you've requested for the larger amount, that would be $236,500. I have put that request forward. It doesn't mean it'll be accepted, but their request of us is $545,000, and that is in this budget, by the way.
Which is more than we've
What
ever
was the
paid.
cost last year?
Oh, it's
490,000.
Yeah.
Last year?
Yeah, it
No,
was
no,
split
no,
across
no.
2 counts. It was split across 2 accounts.
What is the status
Thought it was
of
280,
VIA
it
and
was
and I know you met with Community Foundation with VIA?
Well, they came in, they came in during budget meetings and presented about the VIA, and that's, they agreed to reduce some of the bus routes to bolster the VIA service. That's gonna be something we're gonna talk about in more detail then, yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Oh, yeah.
I know that the CPI I'm familiar with went up 2.7% as of end of July for 1 year. Where did you get the 3.5?
I used Car Rigs. They gave me the number, so.
I promise you it's 2.7,
Okay.
because I have to deal with that in my work. So that, I don't know what, but there are 2 CPIs they deal with. One of them they pull like housing out or housing in or something. So they have 2 different ones, and maybe, but I mean, I've had to deal with it here in the last 2 weeks, and it's 2.7, so we ought to just make sure of that. 'Cause that makes a big difference
I'll make sure
for
when
us.
we do the budget hearing discussion, we
Yeah.
have the numbers that
Okay.
are relevant.
There are different CPIs for different industries.
Yeah.
Can we also check that BJCTA number, because I show in the budget on specific line items, it's split up twice. There's one for 112 and one for 262 for 374.
Yeah,
That's
that
a-
374
that's
is
a
the
line,
right number.
So that's an egregious number right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
disagreeing.
know.
Yeah.
You're the messenger.
I'm going off of what I'm trying to do
Yeah,
here.
I could take that
So-
microtransit and put it in the trash. Bad number.
And I will say, we were very,
Coming in at
I think we
half.
were very open and honest with,
We were.
the Community Foundation and BJCTA
Yeah.
when they came, about the fact that we were not, we did
Right.
not feel comfortable putting that to a new council.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we did a study that Nick was involved with that showed that we just didn't get that much, there weren't that many people that would use it.
No, there's not that much
I mean,
traction. No.
it just wasn't something.
The fact is, half these.
In terms of,
Stop
we
lecturing.
could continue to beat the BGCT horse.
Yeah. Sorry. So easy.
I wanted to know, in terms of personnel, I'm assuming this means we won't be hiring, we're lifting the freeze on any potential hires, and how are we doing that in terms of cross departments? Cause you're adding for new personnel, correct?
I do have personnel, but I'm not addressing the specific numbers in this.
Okay.
Because I was going to allow it to be in the budget hearing, but.
Which is fine.
I have certain ones that I'm recommending supporting, like myself, I'm not allowing HR director to go in because I'm trying to do other things right now. So that, I'm trying to give you a perspective that I have recommended personnel to this, and that's in this budget, and if you guys remove it, that's up to you.
Okay.
And let me say this, that was a discussion with department heads.
That's
So,
what I'm-
so it wasn't done unilaterally in any way. That was a discussion with department heads about what they need, within discussing what they needed and where we thought the balance was. And then we'll discuss the details as we go through the budget.
And I do think, I mean, we did have the hiring freeze, but we had already sort of lifted that when we, hired new SROs and the.
And I guess,
some of those.
once we get into the hearings, because we're in August.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to getting to the hearings. Just getting a sense of how we're backfilling some necessary positions that we weren't able to.
Right.
Across departments, so just
Yeah.
looking forward to the conversation.
Yeah.
Yes. Next slide, please. Now, I really wish I had the laser pointed now, because what I'm gonna try to explain is the current flow. And it really matters for, on this slide, think of the debt services that we have created a fund for debt services that was supposed to include a 1 cent sales tax and what's already documented, the 4 mil and the 4.5 mil. Right now, the 1 cent sales tax is going into the general fund. And whether it was deliberate or not, we have gotten some dependency on that 1 cent going into that general fund. And the current level is $5 million worth of required money. The other way is the same wording that I just used is you're using leftover general fund to seed the next year. That's the way to look at that. And in this case, we used $2.6 million, I think it was, to feed back into the debt services to be able to pay all of our debt requirements. If you look at it over here, all of it will be coming in, and we will have about $8 million extra in debt services that we could waterfall down if we choose to. So what I want to do is try to explain one side and then go to the other. So we created a 1 cent sales tax to support the $110 million bonds that we did. 55 million went to the schools, and if you look at any community, when you invest in the schools, return on investment is just stellar. And you see that in our community. The housing, you can't, right now, I think the average house stays on the market 22 days. Depending on which source you look at, the value of the home from January to date is between 14.7 and 15%. It's gone up. That's incredible. And so those kind of investments are good investments. What the city invested in is refinancing some stuff and building other things. And what I can tell you, the return on investment for the city has been good. We didn't just use it on things, we used it on intelligent things, so we had a return on investment. The next bullet is that $5 million that we are basically used as an operational expense out of the debt services. But because it went straight into the general fund, we didn't see it as that. It was all part of the revenue. And it's, when I'm trying to switch to this method, so we have a capital improvement program, What we have is the general fund right now is about $12 million that I want to have there as a backdrop. Think of a gas tank. You have a general fund and things are operating, but the backdrop is that $12 million extra. We had $22 million before. That's just extra money just sitting there that we can lower down and then bring up the rainy day fund. And I'll talk to the rainy day fund on the next slide. But if we ratify that as what we want to have as a goal, and it's roughly 25%, it allows us in the future to be able to start creating a trust fund for additional expenses that we have for retirement and stuff like that, that really helps our bond rates and helps protect the city. Anything that's over here that goes, interest rates goes up to here and it goes into the debt services. So everything funnels into debt service so we can pay that off. Monthly, we'll sweep it in to our capital improvement program, which is going to be a higher interest rate bearing set of investments and allows us to keep $6 million. I need to explain debt services. In March, we only pay the interest rate, and then in September, we pay both interest and principal payment. So we will have to pull a little bit money back to pay that because $6 million won't cover what we have to pay, but it's right around $8 million. It's actually under that, but it's close to $8 million. This year, it goes down every year, just so we know that. This can keep growing, and the intent of the capital improvement program is to have a full life cycle replacement concept for the entire city. The way I sent out the idea to the finance committee was, I have some principles that are in there, the finance principles that talk to how the council every year in the budget cycle will be able to look at it and change what we put, whether we put more money back up into debt services, more over here, or restock the general fund. All of those allow us the flexibility of doing things, but the truth of the matter is, if we start building the capital improvement program, the whole need for taking out larger loans will be gone because we can split that. So if we have a $100 million project, we could possibly build that up so we cover down on $50 million. It saves the city a lot of money over the long run. And it's allowed to be done, but right now, the way we're briefing it and what you're going to see in the budget cycle, there's a lot of capital requirements we have that are included. That divergent diamond, for example, is included in our current budget. Yes, it'd be this year's money, but I needed to program it somewhere, and it's easier to program it for next year and just use it early. So those things are in there, and that helps us in the long run. Next slide, please. So as I was talking to you, I do reach out. One of the things that I'm going to try to make sure we do is talk to our investment policies and procedures. I have investments in my documents that I've provided to the Finance Committee. But one of the things is to have good conversations with our bond servicing. And if we do the things where we have that rainy day fund and you guys solidify it in the requirements that we do, it'll allow us to have a better interest on their bond rates. And because they'll see it in our finances, not just the current, the annual audits looking at those. They'll see our policies in the finances and they'll support us. They believe we could probably save about $725,000 on that re-announcement and sales of those bonds. Investments for right now, just so everybody knows, we have about $22 million getting 4.26% interest rate. All the accounts are in transition. I know last year you guys authorized moving to Synovus. We are actively doing it. You saw the amount that we're moving since last week to this week. We're going to continue to move it and get it there, but we were trying to set up all the systems at the same time. This budget's going to be large in terms of the size. So I'm trying to put written words into a document and not only just have an Excel spreadsheet that CPAs love to read, but eventually get to a document that's mostly written with the documents right out of Encode that explain what that means in real terms. So if I say I have a police department of X number of officers, I explain why I have those officers and the places they are, what they're going to be doing, and then you can see the funding for it. Then you see the equipping for it, and you start understanding each level of that, and it's written down. Once we get excuse me, I'm having a little bit of brain fog here. The comprehensive plan, through the process, that gets integrated in. And so the comprehensive plan then, if the budget doesn't reinforce and underpin the comprehensive plan, that means we're doing something wrong, and we probably need to go back out to the community and say, hey, this is what we're going to do, and have a discussion about what our vision is out there. Because our budgets should support the development of that comprehensive plan and its vision. So that's what I'm trying to move towards, and I'll be talking to, I'm gonna do a general overview again, because we're gonna be going in real good depth. All the directors have provided outstanding information, and I think it's a budget we can afford. Again, I'm only pulling $2.6 million forward this year from last year, which was $5 million. So I think we're doing a lot. We have better revenue, and I think with the divergent diamond, we're going to even get better over the years. Do I have any questions?
Go ahead, John.
No, I'm fine.
A quick question. I mean, I think that, I appreciate you laying this out and explaining it. I do have some questions on how there's not amounts laid on all the graphs and the boxes. So in terms of being able to understand what's on one side versus the other, for example, on the debt service fund, on the plan flow, there's a $6 million item there.
So right now, debt service has been fluctuating all the way up to like $22 million. And so it really money had been swept into that account over the years and then used out of that account without necessarily doing the right things to make sure it's communicated. And so what I'm trying to do is tell you that we're gonna keep $6 million there, we're gonna sweep it down to where we get the most interest, and if we have to, we can feed it back to where we get debt services. One of the concepts that I was working on of debt services is where we have the most payments, the bonds, possibly open an account with them so they can pay themselves immediately on the date that they need it paid right out of that account.
And the last thing is just we're maintaining our commitment to the schools.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So that's part of the overall $127 million. That money goes straight to them.
Okay.
It'll become pass through.
Okay. Yeah. Bring on the hearings.
Does anybody else have any
I
questions?
mean, I could go in depth, but until you guys have validated it through the hearings, I
Yeah.
don't want to go too deep.
Yeah, no, that's where we
Just
get into
appreciate the work.
the weeds.
You're doing.
When does Mr. Gross anticipate having the books ready?
See that
The
again?
books, the budget books?
Well, I thought we were going to do it electronically.
Okay, that's fine. When will those be ready?
Do you want a copy of the budget?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You got it.
I mean, I
Take it.
think typically next Monday night,
Yeah.
when they present, we
Okay.
can.
Okay, no, that's
Yeah.
perfect. That Monday's fine.
Just so everybody knows, the budget that I have right now, I'm going to continue to refine and update every week as we get more clarity on what we're spending and how close we are to closing out the year. And remember, we're always going to be behind, and we're catching up now that we have the people on hand, but we're always going to be behind. You can't catch up 100%. You're going to close out. And in this case, we're hoping we can close out the year in December, so the ability for us to start auditing could be in December, but it'll probably be in January. So.
All right.
Thank you.
We're having the presentation in council on Monday night with Mr. Adams and the mayor, so I think probably the right motion here is just to accept the report and send it to the full council for
So moved.
presentation.
Second.
All right, motion from Mr. Gwaltney, second from Mr. Alamon. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
5-0. That presentation is approved. 030825, request for consideration of budget amendments for line item transfers coming to us from Mr. Squires. We are still paying for tornado debris dumping.
Yeah, this should wind us up,
Okay.
so we should be done on that.
All right, so we've got some transfers to take care of dump fees, still in relationship to the getting rid of that rest of the tornado debris. We've got some vehicle maintenance, some water and sewer, and then the transfer that we're gonna make from the 7-cent gas tax fund for those paving items that we approved in council last time.
Talking Jefferson County, so the $90,000 that Ms. Andrews got us on the grant.
Yeah.
Hopefully within 2 weeks, we should receive that check, so we can put that back in to that, but this is for the, we call it Old Short Oxmoor over in West, to redo that whole intersection in there, put in the speed
speed,
breakers
yeah.
and things like that, and then redo all of the paving, striping, and traffic loops in that area.
Right, so that was $145,000, but we're getting the $90,000 grant, so that is a nice thing that Ms. Andrus was able to make happen. We're appreciative of that. So can I get a motion to approve those, budget line item transfers?
So moved.
All right, motion for Mr. Harden.
Second.
Second for Mr. Gwaltney. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
5-0. Those line item transfers are approved. We already did the Piggly Wiggly, so 160825, request for consideration of a new audit agency. Mr. Wyatt.
So it's time for us to change our audit, our CPAs that do our annual audit. And so I should give Mr. Adams credit. He and JJ were the ones that did as much of this as anybody. But took submissions and interviewed new firms. We feel like the best one proposal came from Dent Moses. And I feel confident moving forward with them in terms of their abilities and in terms of the cost for the city.
I like them, I can't afford
So make it big.
But you wish you could. All right, so, Mike, would this be
Is there a resolution authorizing the mayor
to sign the contract? Okay, all right.
So moved.
All right, motion for Mr. Alamon,
Second contract.
second for Mr. Harden. All in favor, please say aye. Aye, 5-0, that is approved. Thank you very much. Our final item, 170825, is actually gonna be carried over, but I just wanna give y'all a little bit of, background before it does come back up. The organization asked us to carry this over because they could not have a representative here tonight. It is, for business license penalties, for, Southern Veterinary Partners, coming to us from Mr. Segrist, our city clerk. This company had been being billed at the wrong amount, for their business license for about 4 years. And then they also were not paying use taxes at all. So the total amount that they, owe us is $310,940. This was, They have issued a check, but they're still wanting to come and ask us to abate that. So.
Penalty?
No.
No, they,
overcharging them.
they,
Right,
so
right.
we were undercharging them.
Undercharging, sorry.
Yeah, we were undercharging them for their business license. We had them in the wrong category.
Right.
And then they were not paying use tax at all. So, the total amount of those two things, is $310,940. And they turned that over to River Tree, who did the audit and discovered that. They have submitted the check already, but they are wanting to come and ask for us to abate the entire amount. So, they will be coming at our next committee meeting.
Is that a brick and mortar business?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Do they have a different name?
No,
Oh, I've never
they
heard of
just
that.
merged
Okay.
some guys out of Detroit.
They own
Gotcha.
veterinary practice.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, so we will carry that over tonight because they are not here, but that is what we will be hearing when they come at our next meeting. And with that, if no one else has anything else, we are adjourned.
Public Works Committee meeting for August 18, 2025. Councilor Wolverton.
Here.
Gear.
Here.
Sims.
Here.
Nelms.
Here.
Harden.
Here.
All here.
All right, thank you. Can I have a motion to dispense the reading and approval of minutes from August 4th?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Counselor Nelms, second by Counselor Gear. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 5-0 vote. We have no old business. New business is 040825. Request permission to reconstruct a deck and fence in the city's right of way at 20 and 24 16th Place South, brought to us by Gail Smith and Lori Zielinski.
Yeah, thank you. And Lori's here, and she's gonna tell the story better than I can. It was a tree that fell, I think, right?
No, the wind, it was just the storm damage. The fence has been there since I've lived in the house for 18 years. And, it just was rotten. And when the wind came, the support post it just unfolded like a flower on all sides. And so I nailed it back up and then went to have it replaced, not realizing, first of all, that I had to have a permit to replace it. It was going back in the exact same spot. And then the survey that I sent in actually showed, from when I bought the house, actually showed that it's on the city's right of way there. And that fence has been, that survey that I bought the house with was done in 1999, and the fence was there. And I bought the house in 2007, and it wasn't an issue. I don't know how it didn't come up, but it didn't.
Right, so where the yellow line is in the right of way. So Scott Cook stopped her when she was putting it all back together. We got the old survey, we said you need a more updated survey, so she provided this. And then do you have those images, Brian? Just want you to see what it looks like from the street. So that's the fence where the jasmine, I think, is growing.
That's, yeah, along the side. That part was fine. It's just
An alley. And then, yes, this is an alley. And then this is the property stake in yellow.
It's not an alley.
It's a dead end. No, it's 28th Court South, but it dead ends.
Right, it's public right of way.
Yeah.
It's a road. It's not an alley.
Yeah, that's a road.
I had it listed as an alley. Oh, yeah,
An alley behind you.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So it's hard to tell where the stake is. Where is it in relation to?
Whiplash.
Yeah, it would be like right here. So the property line runs right through the middle of her.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. So she needs our permission to put that fence back up in the right of way. And
Well, right, and you can see that the deck, the fence is attached to the.
To a deck.
So you can like sit right on the other side of this fence.
Oh, okay.
Or grill out or hang out or whatever. You want. On the deck.
Okay.
So it seems like the prior slide is what Mike needs for the indemnification agreement. Is that right?
I have that.
Okay.
Give them
Make
the survey.
a motion to approve with the proper indemnification agreement for the work in the right of way.
Second.
Motion by Counselor Sims, second by Counselor Nelms. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 5-0 vote, and with that, we stand adjourned.
Oh, ready. Let's go.
Planning and Development Committee meeting for August 18, 2025. Counselor Andrus.
Here.
Walden.
Here.
Wolverton.
Here.
Sims.
Here.
Nelms.
Here.
All
Alright, got all five. Okay, I will begin with a motion to dispense the reading and approve the minutes from last meeting.
Second.
Okay, that was a motion from Councilor Wolverton with a second from Councilor Waltney. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so that passes 4-0. So we can have a fifth right now. All right, no old business and new business 05-08-25 public hearing set for September 15th at 6 o'clock for consideration of an amended development plan for the property at 215 Lakeshore Parkway to amend the Wildwood Center South redevelopment plan to permit the construction of a single-story retail building comprising a total of 722 square feet, 7 Brew Coffee, including associated parking, landscaping, and other site improvements. Applicant is Southern Brew Corporation. And we voted on this in August, and we had a 6-0 favorable recommendation. All right, you're here for, yeah, okay?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Okay.
just a little bit of a background.
Okay.
John reminded me, we changed the ordinance for Wildwood to allow drive-throughs to exist there. And so this is the first project that's coming to us.
Okay.
But
It
there were
did
already
change.
drive-throughs
It is-
there.
It's already.
Yeah, that was.
But we still
done-
have to do the,
Right, this is
the
development
plan.
plan.
Yeah, exactly, thank you. Okay, go ahead. Perfect.
Yeah, so my name's Wells Holiday. I'm with Southern Brew. Corp., we're requesting amendment to the development plan with us being in the Wildwood Shopping Center. The existing site is a Casa's Barbecue restaurant. We're gonna demo the site in the building and come back with our new drive-through only, liquids only, dual drive-through, December.
Is it kind of like Red Mountain Express?
What's that?
Like Red Mountain Express drive-through?
Well, so the customers are served by the employees on foot.
Oh, like Sonic.
Similar to Sonic or Chick-fil-A
Yeah.
at busy hours.
Brian, do you have any other pictures like what we had at the planning commission with more, there we go. See what was further behind. We had a lively discussion about the direction of the building and how it faced Lake Shore. Just for anyone's
Do you have a
information.
site plan, Brian?
Let's see which one. Sorry,
That's the interior road.
Yeah, there you go.
But, so,
Go to the next one. That's the survey. So that's the Costa's Barbecue. Yeah, this is the site plan that Wells developed. So this is it. Do you want to talk? So there was some discussion about which way the building, how the building is sited. And so it will face, the front of the building will face Lake Shore, correct?
That's correct.
And then the rear of the building faces
The parking lot.
Hobby Lobby or whatever.
Right.
there was discussion on whether we had an interior road in that parking lot, or whether or not, what some of the other businesses, just for your money to speed. But yeah, we certainly approved.
We don't own the road in there, that's part of the problem.
Well, yeah, the question was orienting the building towards, are you oriented towards the interior road or back out toward Lake Shore? And so I know your point was the visibility of the business.
Correct,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and I think aren't both Chipotle and
They are.
the I place, they all face
Yeah.
Lake Shore. Yeah.
And so we've already set this public hearing?
September.
We did,
Yeah.
okay. I'm doing that. Okay, well, if that's the case, does anyone else have any questions?
For approval pending the public, without recommendation pending the public hearing.
Second.
Okay, I got a motion from Counselor Gwaltney and a second from Counselor.
What?
What?
I'm sorry.
Did you have a question? Oh, I heard you making noise, I didn't know if I was.
I did.
That's why I slowed down.
No, you can
Oh,
ask.
sorry.
What about sideways? Have y'all thought about that? Did that come up at all?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about, because I know how Seven Brews are, and their traffic is crazy. And I don't know if sideways would give more
Well,
wrap.
We have over 20 cars in our stack. It's appropriate for
Okay.
our use, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good with it.
All right, well, with the motion from Counselor Gwaltney and a second from Counselor Wolverton, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes out without recommendation, for the public hearing, and that will be on September 15th. This is closed
Okay.
next door.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And without any other, without objection, we're adjourned. What's the word I'm looking for?